Hey everybody. Hey everybody. We're live for the Virtuous Divas book club. We have two exciting books that we're going to discuss on tonight. I'm trying to get this camera right and get all my little stuff up out of the way. I don't have too much help on tonight, but anybody who knows me know I could do it all by myself. Amen. But we're going to do book club on tonight. Once again, welcome, whether you just now getting on, whether you're watching this as a replay. We welcome you to the Virtuous Divas book club, where we read just about everything. We read everything but Zane. I can't get too much into Zane, but we read from psychological thrillers to comedy to stuff that's deep, for things that bring about healing, things that will take us to the next level as far as our finances and our life, self-help books. We read it all, and we want you to join us as we discuss our books every month. We're a week early this month because Apostle Pearl got stuff she has to do later on. I thought I was going to be on a road trip on this book club meeting night. I thought I was going to be in the car and headed towards Alabama, but that some things happened and that didn't work out. So I want to say to the ladies who may watch later on, that's down at the Women of Thunders conference in Birmingham, Alabama, y'all get y'all shout on for me. Somebody do a cartwheel in the Holy Ghost for me. Y'all cut y'all step. For me, I pray that this weekend is a high time in the Lord. I pray that y'all will never be the same down there in Alabama. Lord, I done started sweating. I tell you, I think this is the menopause stuff. I think it's called a hot flash. Glory be to God. But tonight we're going to discuss two books. One of these books, as I said in my description, one of these books made me just cry. And the other made me want to scream, holler, fight, drag somebody out and push somebody in. And that was good that it could get that kind of response. That means it's a good book when it could get when you forget that you're reading and the book capture you and you become part of the story in itself. So I just enjoyed both of the books. I was hoping some of those that are part of Virtuous Diva get on. If you on, send me a shout out. Let me know that you are online. I see we have a viewer. Just let me know who you are. But the first book is a collaborative effort that I want to discuss. It was called Even Sinners Have Souls. That's the book that made me just cry. The theme throughout the whole book was that God is just good, that God is a redeemer, that God is a healer, that God is one who restores, that it is never too late to come to God. I don't care what circumstance you are in. I don't care what you've done. I don't care who you are. I don't care what they call you. It is never too late to come to God. It is never too late to have that aha moment and realize that in all the searching of the things that you need, what you find that you needed the most in all of this time was God himself. It was a book that let us know that God really does love us. He really does care. He cares about everything that we care about. He is a forgiving God. He is a God that heals. He's a God that restores relationships. I don't care how bad that it seems to be. He's a God with open arms. That's the preacher in me, all the prodigal sons and all the prodigal daughters. God still has his arms open out to you. He's waiting at the end of the road for you. I tell you, this book had me in such a space, and it was like 3 or 4 stories in this book. That's why I said it was a collaborative effort with several authors. The first story was about a queen pen. Y'all know about king pens, but this was about a queen pen. And she was one of the baddest chicks in the game. Y'all know what the game is. We ain't got to go through all of that. But she was one of the baddest chicks in the game. And she had a twin sister. Her twin sister was straight laced, on the right road. Loved her twin, even though she knew who her sister was and what her sister did. Queen D made a name for herself in the streets, and she knew that about her sister, but her concern was her sister's children. And I think she just felt her sister didn't love her children enough to come out of the game. But Queen D, she never really hid anything from her children. So her children saw everything that she did. They saw every person that she was around. They called her Queen D for a reason. It wasn't nothing for her to murder anybody, to bag them and shovel the dirt over them. And something happened, and she owed some folks some money, and they came looking for her. They came looking for Queen D. And she called her twin sister and just said, can you come and get my kids? And y'all know how that is, sisters. Okay, I'm going to keep your kids. But the last time I kept your kids, you was running them streets. You was for 3 days. The sister was engaged to the district attorney. She went and got her children and kept her children, but she got nosy. She wanted to know why her sister was in the trouble that she was in. And sometimes a curious cat get in trouble. She went back to Queen D's house, and of course those who were looking for Queen D came to the house. And not only did they come to the house, the police came to the house. And when the police came to the house, they arrested the sister, believing that she was Queen D. And Queen D was sitting off in the corner, off in the cut up the street in her car, and she watched the police arrest her sister based on the fact that Queen D had warrants. She was wanted, not just by those that she owed, but she was wanted by the police. And her twin sister was trying to explain to her, no, I'm not my sister. I'm a twin. That's not my name. And of course, the police didn't believe her because why? She was an identical twin. Now, if you've ever been around identical twins, yes, they do look alike. But if you look at them closely, they have some distinct features that are different. But you wouldn't know that unless you were somebody who was around them all the time. Well, needless to say, they took her innocent sister to jail. Queen D dressed up like her sister who went to jail because she decided she wasn't going to jail and she was going to leave her sister in jail to take the rap. Look at the heart of her sister. She let her go to jail. While she was in jail, she tried to call her house, hoping that her fiance would answer, and who should answer the phone but Queen D, and acted like, hey, no, we can't come and get you out of jail. And her sister is on the other end of the line thinking, this is crazy. You know I'm here. You know you're the one that they want, but you would leave me here. What I like about this story is the redeeming qualities of this story. Even though her sister was betraying her, she couldn't hate her sister. She was forgiving her, and with every act that Queen D did, she was forgiving her sister for all the betrayal while she's sitting up in jail. What began to happen is those that knew Queen D, those officers that had been around Queen D, realized that it was something different about this particular woman. And an officer went to the district attorney's office and said, I believe that they have your fiance in jail. But by this time, the fiance, believing that this was his fiance, he had slept with Queen D. Queen D never told him nothing different. Told her children to be quiet. Queen D was something else. She was something else. She had a love of her life, and he himself couldn't tell them apart. The short stories were really, really good short stories. Now, I just want to be honest. I don't know how forgiving I could be that I would be arrested and I'm facing some serious time in jail, and I call my house and my sister answer, and she pretends that she's me, letting me know she's gonna leave me in jail and not get me out, and getting ready to leave the country. So you not even saying, hey, I'm gonna try to find a way to get you out. I'm gonna get you a lawyer. I'm gonna do what it takes. I'm not gonna let you suffer. No, you getting ready. You and your children and the love of your life are getting ready to escape. You're getting ready to leave the country, and you're getting ready to leave me here in jail. All her sister did was got on her knees and began to pray. I'm telling you now, when you in trouble, that's the one to cry out. And as she began to cry out, God began to set some things in motion. Her nephew went to the man that Queen D was dating. He said, listen, my aunt is in jail. My mother is up to something. And my aunt is in jail. My aunt is the one that's in jail, not my mother. God began to set in motion for her to be freed from jail, and it happened. And while they were freeing her from jail, Queen D went back to her apartment to get some things that she wanted, some things that she needed to get ready to make this great escape out of the country. And what happened was, and this is what I love about God. What happened was, she got tired. She lay down. She said, I'm going to take a nap. And in taking a nap, God began to show her her life. He just began to show her life, the things that she done, the reason she was the way that she was. And God delivered her right there in her sleep and in her bed. He saved her right there in her sleep and in her bed. And when she got up with the intentions of making things right. Making things right with her sister, making things right with the love of her life, making things right with her children. She was getting ready to go and turn herself in so that her sister can be released, not realizing that she was already released. The police swarmed the house, and of course they killed Queen D. But what I love about God is, before he allowed her to close her eyes for the last time, he saved her soul. God is such a great God. I think I cried about 10 minutes behind that. God is he's such a great God. Now, her having to die wasn't necessarily a great thing as we see it. But she allowed God to come in her life, and before she could turn back to the street, before she could turn back to anything, God brought her home. A lot of time God does that. He'll kill the body to save the soul. And that's what happened with Queen D. She was redeemed by a great redeemer. I'm telling you, I don't know what I expected of this book, but that wasn't it. As I began to watch it, as I began to read it, I just didn't expect that kind of storyline. I didn't expect Enjoy or any of them to sort of get that deep as far as God being a deliverer and a healer, just in a fictional story. But I tell you, it really touched my heart. The next story was about a young woman who was calling herself in love with one man, but it didn't work out. And she met another man who was the pastor's son-in-law. The pastor's son-in-law. And of course, he was married to the pastor's daughter. The pastor's daughter was very active in the ministry. The pastor's son-in-law was active in the ministry. He invited this woman to church. Now, he invited her to church not because he was concerned for her soul, but because he realized that she had an interest in him. She found him attractive, and he worked that thing for all that it was worth. Now, any of us who been in the world for a little while and been in the church, we done seen it. He a married man, but he working her for all that it's worth. She's a single woman. He's a married man. He's making promises. She's believing him, knowing. Women, can I ask the question? if you're dating a married man, what makes you think that you're better than his wife? What makes you think you're going to be the woman that turn him around? What makes you think that he's going to leave his wife for you? And my last question is, what makes you think you the only one? If you are seeing him and he's cheating on his wife, when you stop being the other woman and become the woman, you don't think he's going to cheat on you too? It amazes me how we think. And it amazes me what we do for the sake of not being wanting to be lonely. But the bottom line is you still lonely, because you can't really spend the time that you want to spend with him, because his time is divided between you and her, or him and his family and her. The time is divided. You're not getting the best of his time. You getting what's left over. I don't know what songwriter wrote, I get them on the weekend and you can have them during the week. But that's a twisted way of thinking. I know the song is making money, but that's crazy. When do we get so that it's okay, you feel it's okay to share a woman or share a man? I don't know. Y'all help me with it. Y'all type something in and help me with that. But she was seeing a married woman, she was seeing a married man, and a man of God at that. Now, I'm not saying that we as people of God are perfect, because we are not. We have faults, we have flaws, we have shortcomings. We all come short of the glory. However, too much given, much is required. And when we are in those types of situations, you best be believing God should deal with us accordingly. It does not excuse our actions because we love God. But she was in this relationship, and in her mind, she just couldn't get out, because she was dealing with that woo-wee feeling. Okay, woo-wee, he just make me feel, ooh-wee, he just. But that feeling, it should be reserved for his wife and not you. And what gets me is she's in the church. She herself has become active in the church, and she's active in the church with his wife. She likes his wife, believes she's an awesome woman of God, an awesome psalmist, and yet you sleeping with her husband. Okay. That's how I felt about that, and I'll leave it at that. Okay. But as their relationship progressed, she realized she was wrong. She was realizing she was wrong. So what she did was she went back to the old boyfriend, and they're working things out to the point that she brings him to the church, and he gives his life to God. And things go well for a little while, and then she remembers the woo-wee feeling, and the pastor's son-in-law said, well, let's just meet up one more time. Well, of course, that one more time led to other times. Her ex, who now her present boyfriend, he becomes involved in ministry. So he's looking at this man who's sleeping with his girlfriend. They going out to dinner together. Come on now, somebody help me with that one right there. How can you look somebody in the face and you sleeping with their significant other or their spouse, and you still smiling like everything is okay? The son-in-law became a mentor to this young man, but you sleeping with his girlfriend. Okay. I love God. He's a forgiving God. I'm trying to get to where he is right there, because I don't know how well I could forgive that. God still got some work to do on the apostle in some situations. But what I like about this story is he calls her. He said, well, once again, let's get together one last time. And in that one last time, they getting it on in the truck. She look up and see a light. It's the pastor and her boyfriend. So it's a big to do right there. It's a real big thing. She's embarrassed. The whole nine. She's embarrassed. She feels bad. She been caught in adultery. Sound like something in scripture. But God is a forgiving God. I tell you, this book made me cry. Y'all got to get this book. Even sinners have souls. Yes, even sinners have souls. Even sinners have souls. And sometimes we are in some stuff we don't even want to be in. But God is good. He's a deliverer. And He's willing to pull us out of whatever it is that we want to come out of. Sometimes He has to expose us so we can get healed, so the change will come. Sometimes He got to pull the cover off some things so we can look at ourselves. You ever have God just pull the cover off and say, okay, voila. See, here it is. This is it right here. This is the bottom line right here. This is the thing right here. This is the thing I want to heal. This is the thing that I want to deliver you from. But I had to expose it in order for us to get right here. I'm telling you, this book talks about the greatness and the goodness of God, the love of God, the mercy and the compassion of God. Several stories. You all have to get this book. I just loved it. I love the characters. I love how each story was written. I just love the things that I don't know. I just love the message. And sometimes as long as we have been in God, as much as we have preached and we have taught and we have spoken and we have prayed, sometimes we take some things from concerning God for granted. And He has to bring us around so that we can remember that we need Him every day. Every day. So these stories were real good. These stories were excellent. Like I said, I think it was 4. Let me look it up. And hold on. Give me a second, y'all. Give me a second. I think it was one more story in there. I'm gonna talk about these stories because they just touch my heart. It's downloading. I'm dealing with computers. I'm dealing with technology. It doesn't move as fast as we think it does a lot of times. And I just want to say, cups up, mine's is water. It's ice and water. Apostle trying to lose some weight. Trying to get healthy and take care of herself. Trying to do better. Trying to eat right. Trying to drink more water than anything else. Listen, I don't even cut down on my coffee. Shh. Don't tell nobody. Don't tell nobody about it. Here go one of my people just coming in from work. This thing is still downloading, y'all. Wow, why is it taking so long? Apostle, you should have been fast. You should have been ready. Okay, well, while we waiting on that to download, it's still downloading in this particular tablet, and in my other tablet, it won't download at all. I don't know what's going on with Amazon, but amen. It is a good book. It's Even Sinners Have Souls. It's by Enjoy, Nikki Turner. It's 2 other writers. I'm telling you, you're going to love this book. Download it, put it in your Kindle, put it in your Nook, put it in your Google Play books. You really need to get it. If you want to see God's love in action outside of His holy word, this is a book. This is the book for it. I recommend it to anybody at any given time. Listen, I would pass it out in church. It's just that good. And we see the redeeming power of God. It's still, I don't know what is going on. Amen. But the next book I want to talk about, and this is the book that made me scream and holler and want to fight. Yes, Apostle sometimes still want to fight. She not totally delivered. Y'all pray for her. Y'all pray for her. I mean, I love the Lord, but you can't push me. And I was reading this book. I was so upset with the wife. And I was more upset with the husband. But I like Millie. I'm gonna explain the story, but I just want you to know I loved Millie. I loved her character. I loved how her character developed. This particular story is called Behind Closed Doors by B.A. Paris. This book was a little longer than that first book. This is supposed to be a psychological thriller. And I tell you, it was just that. At the beginning, you see Millie. And Millie in this book is a young lady. Excuse me. Millie in this book is a young lady that she has Down syndrome. But don't sell them short because they have Down syndrome. They're really smart. And you see at the beginning of the story, what, Phyllis, do you remember what Millie's sister's name was? Lord.
I don't know why Clarice keep coming to my mind.
Okay, I'm going to find out. Because the attorney, the husband, his last name was Angel.
Right.
And he was anything but.
Okay.
Now that was something in itself. He was anything but. And he seemed to be perfect. His name was Jack Angel.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out what her name is. Okay. Grace. I think her name is Grace. Yes. So we got Grace, Jack Angel, and Millie. So we have Millie and Grace in a park because Millie likes the park. And she likes the music so much she gets up and she begins to dance by herself. And it made people around uncomfortable. And Grace was getting ready to get up and stop her from dancing because people were becoming uncomfortable. And here a man comes out of nowhere and he bows in front of Millie and he asks her to dance, and she begins No, Nichelle, I can't see your response on book club. Okay, hold on. I probably got some stuff on what it say. Hold on. Oh, okay. Okay, now I see your responses. Now I see your responses, Nichelle. Oh, and you got quite a few. Oh, hold on. She'd say, ooh wee, okay. Okay, I just needed to have swept left. I didn't do that. Yes, her name is Grace. Okay, so the man asked Millie to dance. He asked Millie to dance. And he dances with her, which causes other people to come up and dance. Well, I want you to know people are manipulative and calculating. And Jack was both manipulative and calculating. But he came across as very charismatic, as very charming. Oh, but yes, he was the devil. He was Satan. Oh my God. I could not stand him. But at the beginning, you didn't see that part see that part. And as she's telling the story, you're like, oh my gosh, she done found the love of her life. He was charming. He opened doors. He offered to pay for Millie's schooling. Now I want to wait. Let me go back. Millie and Grace have parents who didn't want children. They really didn't want Grace, but amen. But when they had Millie, because she had Down syndrome, they really just didn't want to be bothered. They didn't want to be bothered. We're just going to tell the truth. And so they're in the story, but they're really not in the story. Their daughter is going through, and they're so busy trying to live the life with just them two that they didn't even discern. They didn't even know their daughter well enough to discern that she was having a problem. Okay, now I'm gonna put a plug right there. Mark your book right there. We're gonna come back to that. So Jack begins to court Grace, and I look at her name, and I believe it has some symbolism in that. Yes, they were selfish parents. Her name, Grace. God allowed her to go through so much, but the grace of God kept her in everything that she went through. It took 6 months. She sold her house, gave Jack the money, told him to buy furniture for the new house. When I say this man is manipulative, but you don't see that at the beginning. When do we see it? On the day they get married. Okay, I don't know, outside of Nichelle, and I'm sure she's going to help me. Your wedding day, ladies, and for those of you that tune in later, I really want you to respond. On your wedding day, you walk down the aisle. There's this handsome man in a tuxedo waiting for you at the end of the aisle. You so happy about the aisle, going down the aisle. You say all your vows and all the I do's you want to say. Now, we just going to be real. We all grown on Facebook Live. And if you under 21, I need you to turn it off or turn it down. We waiting on after reception. Y'all know what happens. The honeymoon. The honeymoon before the trip to the Dominican Republic. The honeymoon before we get to Jamaica. The honeymoon before we get to the Bahamas. The honeymoon before we get to White Sands and Blue Beaches honeymoon. That's the night at the hotel before you catch the flight out honeymoon. Okay, y'all know what I'm saying. The honeymoon. That's a given. Because here we are. I like to believe we have kept ourselves until the day of marriage. I know some of y'all didn't, some of y'all ain't, and some of y'all won't. It's okay. But the bottom line is we've kept ourselves. You say the prelude, baby, that's more than the prelude. That's the freak nick. But anyhow, you done kept yourself. That's a given. This man didn't even show up to the hotel room. What you say? Where did he go? What did he do? She's sitting there all night waiting on him. Now let me tell y'all about Tina Pearl. Tina Pearl. I can only speak for Tina Pearl. Tina Renee Carr Pearl. There'd have been no way I'd have waited on him all night. No. Because if you desert me on the honeymoon, and you stay out all night, my first mind is, if you'll do this on the honeymoon, you doing this every day after. So I just a few hours ago said I do. Let me tell you, I would call the preacher that married me and said, I would tell him, do not mail that down to the courthouse. Don't mail it. Don't register this marriage, because this man didn't come home last night. So guess what? We not married, so don't put no stamp on that envelope. Don't put it in the mail. Don't do it. We not even gonna get an annulment. We just not gonna register. We was practicing so for when we do it again next time, we'll know what to do. With somebody else know what to do. He didn't come home all night. She was at the hotel all by herself. He came home the next day in the middle of the day, and his whole attitude was different. In other words, you need to be grateful that I even came back attitude. What you say? We know that Grace was not black. She was not a sister from the hood. No, she was not. She wasn't. She was not a sister from the hood. Nope. Because it wouldn't have went down. It wouldn't have went down that easy. But from that point on, we begin to see his manipulative behavior. He basically told her, and he did. He said it, I own you. And it went from there. Listen, he kept her locked in the hotel. She was scared to leave the room. He took her for the honeymoon on to Thailand. Locked her. He would lock her on the what they call it, the balcony. He would lock her out. He would leave. He would be gone for hours. He would leave her on the balcony and lock the door so she couldn't come back in. Right. He didn't want to sleep with her. He only slept with her one time. And then later on told her he just didn't, he just didn't want to do it again. He did it enough to give her that ooh-wee feeling, and all of her common sense left her. That's what that was. He would tell her, you better use the bathroom because you're not going to be able to get back in the room. He would do things that mess with her psyche. Now, she was an intelligent woman. She was a woman who worked. He told her she didn't need to work. He told her she needed to quit her job. She sold her house. She gave him the money. Listen, on the way to, she's trying to have him explain to her why he didn't come to the bedroom, why he stayed out all night. Now you done left me in the hotel on our wedding night, and I'm gonna get in the car and go with you. And basically he told her, you got to choose between me and your sister. Negro, you done left me in the hotel. There is no choice. It's going to be my sister. It's not going to be you. And he told her, if you don't choose me, you're going to have to get out. See, she wasn't a sister from the hood. See, Shaniqua would have said, pull over and let me out. And then he said, well, give me your passport. What? Passport? No, you don't get my passport. No, you not holding on. What you need my passport for? You already did come home last night. Why are we even having this discussion? Pull over, let me out. Y'all know Nene and them wouldn't have did that. They wouldn't have took that from him. Nope, Nene would have called her 2 sisters, her 4 cousins, and her 3 best friends, and they would have got him good. Y'all know we all got some Nene in our surroundings. And some of y'all probably Nene, and some of y'all probably Nim. Y'all know. But he was very manipulative. You see it all through.
He used to lock her in.
He locked her different in spare rooms. Mm-hmm. He just locked her up. And the thing was, and I don't know, maybe because I'm a black woman, and I'm not saying I go for bad, but I don't go for foolishness. And I know sometimes we can be afraid, but sometimes in your fear, you got to run in your fear. I don't know what, he never put his hands on her. Everything he did, he just talked to her. And talking to her, he took her prisoner in her mind. And when she became a prisoner in her mind, then it allowed him to make her a physical prisoner. Now, I'm going to say this. She only knew him 6 months before she married him. That was the problem right there. Because when he flipped on her, she's like, I didn't even see this. No, you didn't. You wasn't with him. You can put your chair over. You wasn't with him long enough to get to know who he was. But he made her a prisoner in her own home. He made her a prisoner. She couldn't go anywhere without him. Her friends Esther and Diane said, let's go to lunch. Let's do a girls' lunch, a girls' day, a girls' time. He go on the girls, and they looking at him like, what are you doing here? They were having all kind of conversations. She was so worried. What he told her was, I married you, but you is not who I want. It's Millie. It was Millie he wanted, not to sleep with. This man was sick. He got off on fear. Yes, he did. He told her everything that he ever did to her. He told her he was going to do it, and he told her why. And if she tried to escape, if she tried to do anything, he would tell her, well, we're not going to go. I'm not going to let you go see your sister. And that would send her to a place of depression. Listen, I'm not going to be locked up in my own house. I'm sorry. He had shutters on the windows and the doors so she couldn't get out. It was crazy. But he didn't want her to do anything. But on the outside, it looked like they had the perfect marriage. That's why the book is called Behind Closed Doors. You can't go by what you see sometimes. People present a lot of things, and it don't necessarily be true. He presented that everything was perfect, and she went along with it.
I'm trying to remember who that was. Some woman's trying to tell her.
You got to talk up so they can hear you.
I'm trying to remember the name of the lady that tried to warn her about him. Was it somebody with that he worked around?
I don't think anybody tried to warn her.
It was someone that it was. Who was she?
That had to be at the beginning. I think I missed that probably.
Yeah, but it was someone that was really trying to let her in on that he was not the
person what she think. She said Esther. She said that was Esther.
Mm-hmm. I knew I couldn't. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the one that helped her in the end, but we're going to get to that. And Esther was not originally a close friend. Esther's husband and Jack were friends. Mm-hmm. And Diane's husband worked with him because Jack was an attorney. Mm-hmm. But the men were friends. So, when men are friends, the wives get together and they develop relationships. They talked to Esther and Diane, Rufus and Adam about their new home and how they were doing Millie her own room. Mm-hmm. Millie's favorite color was yellow. I like Millie. We're going to get to Millie. Her favorite color was yellow. So they made her a yellow room. But when Esther asked what color was Millie's room, Jack said he wasn't thinking. He said her room is red. It's a reason for that, y'all. We're going to get to that. Mm-hmm. Okay. When Esther asked Millie what color was her room, Millie said yellow. My room is yellow. I like yellow. My room is yellow. Okay. Now, I want y'all to put a plug right there. So, he keeps her locked up. He keeps her physically locked up. He may bring her something to eat. He may not. I mean, he really, really mistreated her. He abused her mentally and emotionally.
He used to lock her away in sorrow.
Yeah.
Wouldn't feed her.
Wouldn't feed her. I mean, he did everything but beat her, jump on her. But all the other.
What he was doing
was
enough.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He was breaking her down little by little. And after a while, she would try to gain some strength. When she was now let me tell you what got on my nerve. Oh Lord, help me. When she was in Thailand and she tried to get away, she went down to the desk and was telling them how, hey, he keeping me locked up in the room. I can't get out. He got my passport. And he making her seem to be, sort of loco. He was like, your passport is in your purse. She dumps her purse out. There's her passport, her keys, her phone, all of that. Okay. All right. So that's the first time. I give her that. You don't know how manipulative this man is. When I would have seen that, the second time I tried to escape, I kept saying, why are you going to people? Just run.
He had them locked up.
Just run. Why every time you get a notion to escape, you stop and try to get somebody to help you? He's already told people you crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Stop trying to get people to help you. Can you just get away from the environment that you are in? Because them people were fooled by his personality. If I'm going to get away, I'm just going to run. I'm just going to run until somebody says, oh my God, she need help. I'm not. Why you keep stopping every 3 people? Why? And he catch you every time. I was like, when she going to get some sense? I want to slap her. Why she keep trying to call people to help her? Somebody help me.
Especially those little notes she put her little red on.
Michelle said she was a white girl. Now, I'm like, oh my God, can she just run? Can she just get away? Now, she tried several times to get away. I'm going to give her that. It's just the way that she tried to get away. And she began to grow to hate him, and that sort of gave her strength. But let me tell you about Millie. Millie was not stupid.
She wanted to kill him.
Millie didn't like him from the beginning. But nobody paid attention to that. Maybe Esther did a little bit. When she finally got a chance, because weeks went by, when she finally got a chance to see Millie was sort of distant. But not because she was upset that her sister hadn't come to see her. I think Millie knew something was wrong. I really believe. Okay. I can't see. Oh, okay. She answered, yeah, George Clooney. She said, I like Jack, but I don't like George Clooney. Mm-hmm. And really, George Clooney was Jack. But she was saying it so she would always remind Grace that, hey, I know he's still a bad man. Mm-hmm. George Clooney is a bad man. She was saying Jack is a bad man. And I haven't forgotten that he's a bad man. He pushed her down so she couldn't be in the wedding. And she told her, she said, I don't like Jack because he pushed me down. And she was like, no. Grace is like, no, he did. She's like, yes, he did. He pushed me down there, and that's how I broke my leg. Millie wasn't no fool. When he would allow her to see Millie, what I like about Millie, she brought her sleeping pills. And she said, here. And she said, what you want me to do with that? Millie said, you know. Grace is acting like she don't know what Millie is saying. Millie's like, you know what to do with these. She said, well, aren't these yours? She said, I don't need them. I just told them I need them because I knew you was going to need them. Millie was smart. Millie pretended that she couldn't sleep, so her doctors would give her sleeping pills, and she collected the sleeping pills so she could give them to her sister so her sister could kill her husband. Millie, I know you are a fictional character, but Millie had a plan. When Grace didn't, Millie had a plan. Grace knew that when Jack would bring her, their intention was to bring Millie to live with them. Jack, because he was crazy, he got off on people's fear. Mm-hmm. And the bottom line is he wanted to make Millie afraid. He was gonna get off on that. He built a room in the basement and he painted it all red. The floor, the ceiling, and the walls. That's why when Esther asked him what color was the room, he said red. He said that way at the beginning of the book. So here now we have a social event and they're all at the event. And Millie is at the event. It's Millie's birthday party. And she said, Millie, what color is your room? Millie said, yellow. Esther says, I thought the room was red. No, it's yellow. Millie telling it. It's yellow. My room is yellow. She said, Jack said it was red. Jack said, I never said that. Which sent Esther's antennas up. Okay. Esther probably didn't feel anything was really, really wrong until then. You know how you feel something, but you can't put your hand on it? And I think it was then that Esther put her hand on it. Okay, something is not right. But she couldn't do much because Grace never said much until that last phone call to set up Millie's birthday party. When normally she would have hung up, she continued to talk. And Esther probably said, you talking more than normal. You have to really read the book. It will take me just to do step by step. But yeah, it's a lot in it. But the bottom line was, Grace finally got a pair.
Okay. She
finally decided, I'm going to kill him. I said, because y'all know, I was so sick. I was so sick of George Clooney. I was so sick of the angel who was Satan himself. And I was so tired of her begging him, well, please take me to see my sister. Why are we begging? See, she should have got out that car when he said, make a choice. Bam, pull over. Pull over. See, she never would make a choice. She was always afraid. Millie was in a safe place. But she let him torment her so in her mind that I think she forgot that. If she would have died, Millie's parents would have had to come back and get her. He wouldn't have had access to her. But I think she forgot that because he put it in her mind, I'm going to get what I want. He talked her parents into going to New Zealand. Back to the parents. So they came and visited. How do you visit your child in her home? First of all, they don't really want you in the home because they don't want you to see what's going on. Right. So they make you uncomfortable in the home, but you don't discern something's wrong. I'm all the way in South Carolina. I feel my children. I may not know what's wrong, but especially if I hear their voice, be like, what's the matter? What's going on? Something is going on. And there are times I know something is going on, and I know especially my oldest, he's not going to say much. So when it comes to him, I just start to pray, and I ask God to make ways for him, for his family, because I know he's not going to talk, or he's not going to talk until he's ready to talk. No, that the second time that they went to Thailand, he didn't come. The first time he was there because they went together. That was their honeymoon. Wait, and when he lost the court case. Because he had never lost the case. Jack was making me sick. I wanted to go into the book. Can you write me, my Tina character in this book so I can knock on the door and be like, I know you in there. You just not answering the door. And I know my friend in there and you about to let her out. I am nay them.
We have gathered the woman.
Like, she about to come out of there. I know you got her in the basement.
He kept her locked down there.
She made a decision that she was gonna kill him. So he had already bought the tickets to Thailand, and she said, "When I do this, I got to do this right." She knew he was gonna come home. See, by being locked up, just like he learned her, she learned his patterns, and she knew he was gonna come home, and because he lost, he was gonna want a drink. And she counted it. And he did just what she knew he was going to do. Because he would always tell her, I know you. I know how you going to think. That's why I'm always a step ahead of you. But this time, she was a step ahead of him. Because she knew his patterns. And he came home because he ain't never lost. So he felt some kind of way. That's right. We'll walk up on somebody. I'm naming them. Be like, where they mama live. He brought her a drink. She rubbed her eyes to make her eyes red and told him something was in her eye. And while he was trying to look for what was in her eye, she put the sleeping pills in her drink. And then when he said, well, hand me my drink back, she handed him her drink. and let him drink it. And of course it was sleeping pills, so he was getting woozy. But in his woozy, she pushed him out of the way to run. Bottom line is, he fell out somewhere, sleep, down in the basement. She thought he was dead. He wasn't dead, but we'll get to that. Well, she calls up who? Esther. And asked Esther to take her to the airport. She gave Esther, well, he came home. He wasn't doing all that well because he lost, and so now he drunk, and he got a whole lot of paperwork, and so he gonna send me to Thailand. He don't want to waste the tickets, so it don't make no sense to waste 2 tickets. So he's gonna send me and then come after me on Tuesday. But I need a ride to the airport. Now, what I like about Esther, remember in the beginning, because he didn't give her pencil, paper, nothing. Esther made sure that she said her telephone number so that Grace could remember it. And that's how Grace called Esther to get the ride to the airport, because she remembered the telephone number. Her plan was good. She got to Thailand. She started talking about how her husband sent her, and the man upgraded the room, and she living it up in Thailand. Wait, but steadily calling his phone. Now, in her mind, she know he dead. But she steadily calling his phone. Okay, I made it. I miss you. I love you. Can't wait till you get here. Oh, she played the role. I was finally like, yes, Grace, yes, now you my sister. Now you are my sister. You done got you a pair now. You playing the role now. She's steadily calling his phone. Why haven't you called me back? I've been waiting on your call. Okay, well, I know that you're busy, but you should still call me back. You know, that loving wife. Y'all know she played. Yes, she covered herself in the shell. Yes, she did. She played it. She met a couple. She befriended them. Talk with them. Oh, he'll be here Tuesday. He's coming. He's my husband, the love of my life. You know, hey, he brings me joy. Ain't that what Anita Baker say? You bring me joy. She thought he was dead. Well, he was after a while, but she'd only knocked him out. Well, when they came to give her the news that he was dead, then she played the grieving widow. She played the grieving widow. Oh no, he can't be dead. No, he on his way here. She acted like she, going into shock. No, he said he on his way here. What'd he do? Have a car accident? And they finally said no, he committed suicide. Oh no, he couldn't have committed suicide. She played the role. She played the role. So we go from Thailand back to, she's on the plane. She's on the plane, and she realized Esther knows something, but she don't know what Esther know. And she trying to figure, okay, well, is Esther gonna turn me in? What is Esther gonna do? Because remember, Esther's husband is Jack's friend. So Esther picks her up from, I like Esther. Esther picks her up from the airport. She said, well, I know, you thought Diane and Adam was coming. I'm gonna take you over to Diane's, but we gonna stop and we gonna get coffee. Yes, I like Esther. She wanna get coffee. We gonna sit down and talk. And Grace is like, oh, here it come. She must gonna blackmail me. So Esther basically, well, how was your trip? And then she said, well, do you know how your husband died? And she was like, well, they say he killed himself. She said, no. And she goes on to tell her, well, yeah, he took the sleeping pills, but that's not how he died. And I'm saying to myself, did Esther go in that house and finish the job? Now, that's where I was. And she said, no. He died in the basement of dehydration.
His own
Dehydration.
His own weapon.
Now he built a room that was all red, a square room, no windows, no nothing, to put Millie in. He made Grace paint all the pictures of all the abused women that he represented it, because he represented women in domestic violence cases. So when they would take the snapshots of pictures of the women, he took the snapshots home and say, I want you to paint all these women. And then he put all of the pictures of the abused women on the wall. So this is what was going to surround Millie. She was going to be in a red room representing blood, torture, unhappiness. And then you got the pictures of all the abused women all around the walls. He died in that room. The room didn't have a handle on the inside. I think in his grogginess, he accidentally shut the door. And did she call him? Yes, she did call him. She said he did that dog. He died just like he did the dog. Yes, he wanted her to fear death. You are absolutely right. And that's why everything in the room was red. When he died, he couldn't get out the room. So he died of dehydration. Just like Molly, the dog. He killed the dog. He put the dog in the room. The dog couldn't get out. He left the dog with just enough water for a week, but they stayed in Thailand 2 weeks. So in that second week, the dog died. It reminds me of a story in the Bible. I'm an apostle, I go there. Where Haman built a gallows to hang Mordecai. He was trying to set Mordecai up big time. He just knew that the king was going to have him killed. And he was going to be ready to say, hey, king, I got this gallows already ready for him. I knew you was going to make that decree. I got the gallows ready. But the bottom line is Mordecai built his own tomb. He built his own. The very gallows that he built for Mordecai is the very gallows that he died in. And when I read this in this book, y'all know I shouted. I said, I ain't never wished nobody dead. I'm so glad that Jack Angel is dead and he died in the very place that he was going to torment an innocent soul. I tell you, God don't like ugly. She got Down syndrome. She pure heart. Millie was pure heart. How you gonna want to torture and cause somebody to fear? But the very room that he designed for her, and that's when Esther figured it out at that table when she's like, no, you told me the room was red. When they told her that room that he died in was red, I think Esther put in her mind, I am gonna help Grace not go to jail. Because Esther felt like I did. Millie is an innocent soul, and you were setting that up to do that. So her and Esther had sat at the table with coffee, and she began to tell Esther began to tell Grace what to say to the police. I was like, go on, Esther, go on and help her. If I perish, I perish, but I'm going to see the king. Her name meant something too, because Esther was a tool of deliverance.
Because she was there.
Because she was there.
Yeah, she was there.
And Grace didn't even feel Esther liked her like that. But Esther was the one who picked up on it. And the way the book ended, I was a little upset because I wanted them to let them go to the police station. And she asked Esther, basically, why are you helping me? She said, and so, what color was Millie's room? And Grace held her head up and said, red. And basically Esther was saying, that's why. That's why. Because I realized what that room was really for. That room, see, Jack told it, he thought he was doing everything so perfectly. But everybody makes a mistake. Ain't that what Columbo say? Everybody slip up. Even the best criminal slip up and make a mistake. And his mistake was the slip of the tongue her room is red. But the upstairs bedroom that they were showing everybody was yellow. But the room that he knew he was going to lock her up in was red. And when Esther saw that room, she knew that that room was Millie's room. She realized that is what Jack Angel had been saying, that this is the real room that was going to be Millie's room. But Millie was smart. Millie was like, I'm not coming until he gone. I'll come and let you, Grace, I'll come and live with you when you give him these sleeping pills. When you kill him, that's when I'm coming. Because he's a bad man. She just kept saying, he's a bad man. And he was. Babies and animals, they have a good discernment. And I say all the time when we talk, when a child just don't like somebody, you need to pay attention. Because children are innocent. They have pure hearts. I know they do their little devilish stuff. Yes, they do. But for the most part, they are innocent and they have pure hearts. When people with pure hearts really don't like somebody, I pay attention. Something is going on. Now, for some, it might be something on them that scare, that scare them. Like some babies don't like mustaches or, and that sort of frightens them. But for the most part, when they don't like somebody, I pay attention. Behind closed doors, the title says it all. A lot of times we present some things where people can see, but we never know what's really going on behind closed doors. Nobody ever really knew that she was the type of torment she was experiencing behind closed doors. Because when they came from behind those closed doors, they looked like the perfect couple. He treated her like he loved her so much, but he didn't like her. He didn't like himself. He told her, I killed my mother and I sent my father to jail for it. Come on. If you do that to your parents, I don't stand a chance.
No, he's emotionally gone.
Yeah, he was crazy. So it was a psychological thriller. I enjoyed it from the first word to the last word. I really could wait. Listen, and when my eyes got tired and I couldn't read, I put it on audio and let Alexa read it to me. And I would go back sometime and rewind it and have her do it again. But it is a good book. If you didn't read it, it's called Behind Closed Doors by B.A. Paris. I think I'm ready to read something else behind her. From her, she's the psychological thriller queen, and she got the goods, because this was really good because it had a lot of twists and turns. I gave you the gist of the story, but it was good. What she said, women don't fall for the okie doke, and that's the truth. And can we take our time to get to know somebody? I mean, she married this man after 6 months. You really don't know anybody after 6 months. You really need to take some time and get to know. We on our best behavior. At least the first year, we on our really very best behavior, especially if a person has an agenda. And when you see some red flags, don't ignore them. Yeah, I'm going to. She got about 2 more books. 2 or 3 more books, and I'm gonna tap in to those. Our selections for next month is going to be The Riot Within. Wait a minute, y'all know I can have. See. The next book is going to be the Riot Within. And Dear Martin by Nick Stone, and The Riot Within, that's written by Rodney King. It's a good movie based on it too, called Traffic, with Halle Berry in it. I think that's who it is. But it's The Riot Within by Rodney King, and what you said, yes, pay attention to the red flags. And Dear Martin by Nick Stone. I think we read earlier on in the year another book by him, which was really, really good. We thank you for joining us. If y'all have any more comments, I'm going to wait and see. I'm telling you, if you haven't read the book, y'all need to read these books. they're really good. We only had one book that wasn't good, and that was The Bells. But outside of that, most of these books have really been good reading. I like I said, I really enjoy Sinners Have Souls. And then they have a part 2, Sinners Have Souls 2, TOO. And so I'm going to read that. It like I said, it speaks about God's redeeming power, His love, His delivering power. You need to get those 2 books. If you haven't read them for this month, catch up with us. But next month, on the 3rd Friday, we will be discussing The Riot Within, and we're also going to be discussing the book by Nick Stone, Dear Martin. In the month of August, we're gonna have another girls' night out, so y'all get ready. We was a little turned up. We're gonna turn it up in August. That 3rd Friday in August, but the 3rd Friday in July, we're gonna be reading Dear Martin by Nick Stone and The Riot Within. So I thank you for getting on. It was good seeing you, Pastor Cynthia, Prophetess Nichelle. It was good you couldn't be with us. I was expecting you. I thought you said you was coming. I'll see you this weekend. It's a blessing for you all that got on the line, and for those of you who'll be watching later, we thank God for you. Joanna, I seen your name pop up. It was a blessing to see you. I forgot all about your book, and you didn't remind me. But that's all right. I ordered it for next month, so you good. I promise you, I'm gonna have it in a day or 2. I think it's 2 days. I think Amazon do 2 days. Okay, but I forgot. I sincerely forgot to get you the book that you won. Y'all know I'm over 25. I'm never going to admit that again, but I will today. So we thank God for you. We'll see you on next month at the Virtuous Divas Book Club meeting on the 3rd Friday of July. I don't know what the date is. I'll figure it out. 3rd Friday in July. 2 good books. I pray that you get them. I pray that you read them. And I thank God for you. You all have a wonderful and blessed night.